Hi, I'm John, and welcome to Twig Archery. Today we're going to be talking a little bit about the Samick Sage with the brace sight. Brace sights, I've had a lot of customers ask me about what's the deal with this brace height, and a lot of people don't really understand what that is. Basically, the brace height is the distance from the deepest part of your grip to the string. And the manufacturers of all recurve bows generally have a set distance there that they know that the bow will perform its best at. So in the case of the Samick Sage, the brace height recommended is 7.5 to 8.25 inches. Now the difference between that is just something that you have to learn after you've shot the bow for a long period of time. After you shoot a bow for a long time, you just start to get the feel of where it performs the best at. And there is a difference of when it's lower or if it's higher of how the bow performs. The lower the brace height, the bow will generally be a little bit quicker of speed. Not much. You're talking probably 3 feet per second. It wouldn't be much. And the bow is less forgiving of a bad release. If you have a tendency to pluck a little bit or kind of a crummy release, it would be more critical of that. Also, the bow would be a little bit noisier with the lower brace height, meaning around 7.5 inches in this case. So the higher brace height is more forgiving of a crummy release. It is a little bit quieter, but the arrow is a little bit slower. So in my personal shooting over the years, I've always preferred something that was a little higher. I wasn't concerned with 2 or 3, 4 feet per second of arrow speed. I was more concerned with quietness and forgiveness of a release, probably more than anything, because I have a tendency once in a while to want to pluck the string. I don't hold the string very long when I shoot, but still I'll have a tendency to want to come out, and that's not really what you want. You want to stay close to your face and just stay right here, or come straight back with your hand. So in this case here, with this bow here now, we're going to measure this brace height here, and we're going to see that it is about 7 5/8. So it's still within the manufacturer's measurement to performance-wise. However, it's going to be where it's a little bit noisier, and it's going to be a little less forgiving of a release. So what we're going to do is, in my case, I'm going to raise this brace height up a little bit. I'd like to get it up there to at least 8, maybe a little bit over 8 inches. So what we're going to do is just, all we have to do is take the stringer. We put the big loop on the bottom, put the small loop on the top, get it in the center. Always make sure you got things lined up properly, and then just pull up, take the string off the top and just let it slide down the limb. Okay, we'll just leave everything in place like this. Now we're just going to take off the stringer. I usually just tuck that between my knees, and we're going to take the string off, and we're going to turn it in the same direction that it's already been turned. So we're just going to turn it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Alright, there's roughly 10 turns. It doesn't have to be an exact measurement there, because we're not sure exactly where we're going to cut. Make sure everything is lined up properly. Slide your stringer back on, and then just go ahead and restring it. And what we've done here, we've just twisted the string and shortened it. So by shortening the string, that's going to just raise our brace height up. So you just go ahead, straight string it. Always make sure that the string is centered underneath there before you release the pressure. And then of course always double check to make sure that everything stayed in place. Now we're just going to remeasure, and we see we've come up to about 8 to 8 1/8 inches, which would be pretty good position for me personally. So that's all there is to it. It's not that difficult to do. Basically, the string will stretch, especially in the break-in period when you first get the bow. For the first week or so, that string's going to stretch, and that's common of the B50 string. And you'll have to adjust that the brace height by twisting that string. When the string comes in the package, try not to let the string untwist. You try to get a hold of both the big loop, which would be the upper loop, and the smaller loop, and try not to let the string untwist. When we put the arrow on, if you put an arrow on and with the nocking point where it is, we always knock underneath the nocking point. And I always set these prior to shipping the bows out. But if you hold the bow up sideways like that, you kind of look at it and you'll see that the knock end is a little bit higher than the point end. The arrow actually looks like it's running slightly downhill. Yeah, and that's proper. That's what you want. You don't want the arrow sitting on there perfectly perpendicular there. So this would give you the proper arrow flight. If the arrow has a tendency as you release, sometimes you can't see it yourself, but somebody standing over on the side could see it as you release. If the arrow starts doing this with the end going up and down, going down range, that would not be a spine issue of the arrow. That would be the nocking point here would need adjusted up or down. More than likely would need adjusted up. So I guess that's all we need to talk about today, and I think that'll help out some of our customers who've had a little problem with the brace height and didn't really understand what it's all about. So thanks for joining us today at Twig Archery, and remember to shoot Twig and score big.